Hi, my name is Noel Davis with World Composting, and today we're going to take a look at our African Nightcrawler bins. It's been 21 days since our last update, a little longer than I wanted again, but we're going to try to go in here. I do have some rice to add as a food substance for these guys because I don't think they've been doing all that great. One of the bins looks a little bit better than the others with the tote with the lid on top. But we're going to take a look at it. I have the heaters off, so there's no more heat going in them, so they shouldn't be dried out like crazy on the bottom. But we're going to take a look, see how they're doing, see how the moisture is, and see if the worms are multiplying. So with that, we're going to go right into this and take a look at these worm systems and see how they're doing. All right, first off here, our last update, as you can see, is 420. And our last feeding was on 324, which I don't know if we did real feedings in here. That's probably we just added some... Well, we could have added food, but I don't really remember off the top of my head if we added that or just bedding material. But let's take a look inside here. First off, we do have a spider down here. I'm just going to shoo him away. And we're going to go ahead, let me push this down just a little bit. Take this off right here and see how it looks on top. Looks like we are getting some castings on top here, which looks really nice. I'm not seeing any worms on the cover, though. Usually that's where the babies sort of hang out. I'm not seeing any cocoons or anything on here. So we're going to put that off to the side. And we'll take a look. Actually, this looks a little better than I saw last time. We really see a lot of castings on here on top, which is a good sign. We're just going to go ahead and start digging in here. I think we'll dig here on this side and just take a look and see how things are going. So we're going to dig right down to the bottom. And we already see a couple worms here. They look a little healthier than they did last time. Last time they were really stringy. It looked kind of shriveled up. Not moving a whole lot, but it's also a little chilly. Actually, you know, that's one of the things we didn't look at. Here's temperature here. I've got my temperature gun. It is 70 degrees, or 69. 69.4 degrees, or 20.8 in Celsius. So it's a little chilly in here for them. They really like it over 70 degrees, so it's kind of in that low temperature where they just can survive. I thought that was a worm, but that's not. So I don't think it is. No, it's a branch of some sort. I'm seeing a lot of castings in here. Actually, here's a worm right here also. So there are some worms in here. Again, they're not moving a whole lot, but I think they might be... Oh, there we go. That one's moving, squirming a little bit more. I think that they might be a little bit cool for them. I'm hoping that when you throw in, we're going to throw in a little bit of rice. Here we go. Here's another worm right here. So that's what, 4 or 5 worms that we found so far. There is a little bit of food over here. This is mango seed. We're going to go ahead and bury that in under here. So those are those same worms now. We're going to go to the center section, take a look. Oh, we got more worms. Oh, we've got quite a few in here, actually. So we got some more in here. There's 2 more. 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 worms. Oh, there's another one under here. And actually, there's a little baby worm. We do have little babies in here, a little wisp. If you can see that right there. I don't know how close I can get before it doesn't focus anymore. Maybe about right there, but there's a little baby worm in here. Again, it is moving. It's a little chilly, so we're going to need to warm this up a little bit. That's what I'm hoping to be able to do with this rice when we put it in. It's not frozen, by the way. It's just been in the refrigerator, so it shouldn't be too bad. But look at this. There's a lot of castings in here. I'm really surprised. I thought last time there was a little bit more paper, so they're really starting to go through these castings. Just kind of move this over. Up, another worm. Another 2 worms. One right over here. Remember, I've emptied this out a couple times. Oh, 3 worms. There's another one. And there's one right here that's pulling away from me. Ah! It does not want to come out. It is a big worm. There we go. This one was a little bit more lively. A nice big one right there. It's a good sign, though. We can see they've really started to work through this material. This is what I'm really hoping for in my urban worm bag. Another worm right there as well, is that I get some of these worms really moving through the system. It's starting to look very, very dry in here. I don't know if they like it like this or not. It seems like they do better when it's more dry than really wet. I mean, I found that even when I first got them, another one, there's another 3. So there's a good amount of worms in here. It's really dry in this corner over here, and there's not quite as many. Here's 1. And 2, and a 3rd one over here. And we've still got some paper left over here. Really not a lot of paper in this system. I'm wondering if I should add some in here with the rice. We're just going to go ahead and smooth this back out. And I'm really debating now whether I should add just a little bit of cardboard in here. just to make sure that they have food. So I think we're going to feed. We fed over here last time and there was still that one mango seed over here. So we're going to leave this side alone. I think we'll feed back on this side. So I'm going to dig this side back out. As I said, this food is not frozen. I've been trying not to add frozen food to my African Nightcrawler systems because they really don't do well in cold weather. And let me grab... Actually, I think we will put just a little bit of paper in here. Hold on a second here. I just had some stuff fall into my paper bin. I threw all that stuff in there. Let me just grab just a little bit of paper just to make sure that there is some paper in here. I know it's dry. We're going to get it wet though because we're going to add some moisture to this. But the first thing we're going to add here is we're going to add a little bit of rice. I've got this big container of rice right here. It's probably way out of... there we go. It looks like it now white balance back out. All right, so what we're going to do is... Actually, I'm going to take my glove off here so I'm not reaching into this with my glove. This rice is clean. It's from my kitchen. We're eating it, and then I, on purpose, made a whole lot of extra rice. So we're going to dump in a big chunk of rice in there. Just like that. Knock all the pieces off so I can close this again. Or at least have it ready to go for the next system as well, which we're going to also add some rice to, I think. Just as something to change it up a little bit. Add a little bit of food. It's a starchy food, but still. Alright, there we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab this and just break it up. It's nice broken up right there. And we're going to go ahead and actually, hold on a second, there's one more thing we should add in here. Let's add a little bit of our grit. I almost forgot to add this. This is crushed crab and eggshell. There we go. By the way, every video I tend to put links up top to show you how to make this stuff if you're wondering how to make it. Let's just add a little bit of water with BTI mix in here. I'm not going to add a whole lot this time, but we did just add some paper. The rice should be pretty absorbent as well. All right, maybe we'll add just one container here. Not too worried about this getting moist because it looks pretty good, but we're dry on as far as one end. So now we're going to go ahead and cover this back up. I'm going to move these around. Hopefully this will heat up here with that food in there. There's a lot of microbial activity also in this material as well. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. We're going to go ahead and peel this one off. We don't need this 324 date anymore. And we really don't need this 420 date anymore. Because we did not feed, or this is our latest feeding. And here is our 411 date. There we go, or sorry, 511 date, not 411, 511. And then we do need to add a little dash mark on there so we can mark that we fed them. That's the way I've been marking those. So you can see right there, I've got that nice 511 date. And now let's go check out how the other, actually hold on, let's put the lid back on first. Put the top back on, we're going to keep that covered. As I said, no heat anymore coming into these from the outside. It's all just from my basement now. So let's go check out the 10-gallon tote and see how that's doing compared to the busboy bin that we had right here. Be right back. All right, here's our 10-gallon tote. I already put on today's date right here, so we're ready to go. Let's flip this over and take a look. First off, just a little bit of moisture on the lid. I'm not seeing any worms on there. I mean, there's not much really going on. I don't see any mites either, which I guess is a good sign. So let's put that off to the side. Grab my glove and we'll take a look in here. Now, this one, it looks like we hadn't added any food for a while or anything else. And we're just going to kind of dig here in this corner, just take a look and see what we find. I see a spider over here crawling. Let him get away. Actually, let's do a temperature check here real quick too, just like we did with the other one. So again, this is 69 degrees. So the same temperature of 20.6 degrees Celsius. Now let's just kind of dig this up here. Again, this is a little chilly for these worms. They really would like to be in that 70 to 80 degree range, I think, from everything I've read. Now this material, as you can tell from this, the way the lid is on, there's just a lot more moisture in here. Nothing over there. Get that spider out of there before it gets on me. Don't mind spiders, but I don't need them crawling on me. Let's just see here. Is there a worm? Here we've got a little baby worm in here. So again, right there. A little baby worm. So I think they're not doing quite as well in here. Again, this one has a higher moisture content. And I have emptied these out a couple times, you know, for other systems and for the one time lapse I did. So this one, no, I thought there was at least 4 or 5 worms in here, and now I'm not seeing any, which is sort of worrisome. Well, except for the one baby worm, but I'd like to see a couple bigger ones because that's how you get cocoons. Oh, hold on. I thought I just saw one. Well, maybe not. Maybe it's just a piece of paper. Oh, here we go. Still small, but here's another worm right here. So this is, we're going to see here. We'll see what's going on. As I said, we're still going to add food to this system. We'll see if they bounce back. Because sometimes they have cocoons in here, even though I'm not seeing them, because I'm not very good at finding them normally, unless they're very obvious to me. But we'll see what happens here if we put some food in here, if we can get this to bounce back a little bit. Oh, hold on. Here's another baby over here. So we've got a lot of young worms in here. So the cocoons are breaking open, but the adults aren't here anymore. So I don't know if they left, and they could have gone to the system next door. They also could have gone to the floor, but I haven't seen any really on the floor. I have in the past, especially when my bins got a little bit too crowded. Oh, wait, hold on. Here we go. Our first actual adult worm in here. So that's a good sign. It just means that I might not be looking quite as carefully as I thought. Oh, here's another one right here. So we've got 2 at least. Two adult worms in here. I think they're adults. So let's just see here. We'll just flip through this a little bit more. This one might be a very, very quick update here. Oh, hold on, one more worm down here it looks like. Another adult. So there we go. We do have some adults in here. Oh, another one right here. So they're hanging out near this corner maybe, on this side of the bin. So I think we're going to add some food in here now though. Oop, another one right here. So there's more. There's about 5. Let's say there's probably between 5 and 10 then. I think what we're going to do is we're going to just bury this rice right in the middle. I don't think we need to add any cardboard. Oh, here's another juvenile maybe. I don't know if that was the same one as before, but I think we're going to put the rice right here in the middle. So let me go ahead and grab the container. And again, we're not going to be adding any cardboard to this one. I think there's plenty of cardboard here. But we are going to add some food for the rice. We're going to add a chunk of it right there. And again, this is chili, but I'm hoping this will warm up a little bit. Just a little bit more than that. There we go. I think that's good. Don't want to add too much, but just enough to kind of keep the system going. And hopefully add a little bit of heat and get the worms some microbial activity that they really enjoy. Now again, we're going to put on some crushed crab and eggshell here. We're not going to add any moisture to this one. We don't need that at all. Just a little bit of crushed crab and eggshell. And now we're going to go ahead and cover this up. Put the worms right near there maybe. Maybe that'll help them. And there's one other thing that I do want to do here. Actually, let's put this down over there right there too. So as you can tell, there's a lot of cardboard in this system. This system is ready. I mean, it should be very microbial active for the worms. They just need that temperature to be right, so that way they can go ahead and take care of the stuff that's in there. Now, there's one other thing I do need to do, and that is I do need to mark where I last fed, since I'm going to put a marker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of tape right here, just a regular piece of masking tape. I'm just going to put it right here on this center section, and that way we know the last place that we fed. And then the last part of this is, of course, putting on the lid. And then, as we did put some food in there, one thing I do need to do is I need to add a little dash here, so that way I remember that there was a feeding in this bin. So that's it for these systems. First one looked pretty good. It just, I think, needs a little bit of heat to maybe wake those worms up a little bit more. I'm hoping the same way with this one, and maybe if we get it, another couple weeks, we'll see a big change because of the heat from this rice will heat up the system just a little bit, get it up into that 75-degree range in that area, and maybe kind of get this a little bit more active. So we'll see how this goes, but for right now, it looks like they're doing okay. Nothing, no collapses, which is good. There's still worms in both of the systems, so we'll just go from there and see how it goes. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know, and thank you again.